Welcome back to the Fight Pit, ladies and gentlemen. We are here live for UFC Fight Night Lewis versus Nascimento. Intro music. We back, ladies and gentlemen. You know the drill. It is the official Fight Pit. It's your boy Drew, the highest in the room. I am with Gaugeamus Maximus, 12 Gauge himself, and Matt Talks MMA. We are covering the UFC Fight Night Lewis versus Nascimento card coming up. But before we get into it, we have to give a shout out to our wonderful sponsor, pillowfight.co. You know how it goes, folks. Sleep is a third of your life. You got to take it seriously. When your sleep is not on point, nothing is on point. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm a cranky bear when I don't get enough sleep. I am not programmed to run off of very little sleep anymore. I don't operate like I did in my younger days. I gotta get that good sleep in, and that's where Pillow Fight comes in. Blissfully soft and shockingly supportive, their commitment to premium foams and fibers provides superior comfort, all while being soft enough to cradle you to sleep, as if you are fighting Derrick Lewis. Very unfortunate position to be in for anybody. So make sure you get a pillow from Pillow Fight if you are ever standing across from the Black Beast. Worth every penny. Make sure you invest in your rest. Pillow Fight does not skimp on the details, neither should you. And they are obsessed with making a difference. Every purchase allows Pillow Fight to donate pillows where they are needed most. So hit up pillowfight.co to order and for more information. Thank you to Pillow Fight. Now, we getting into it, boys. This is for coming up on May 11th. It is the St. Louis card, very highly anticipated. The Fight Pit looks to keep rolling. We went, not to toot our own horns, but it's what I do best. We went perfect. That is 100% on our bet picks for the last Fight Night card. And we're going to keep that up. So if you're not with us, then you're probably not winning as much as us. You might be, but probably not. Derrick Lewis, Derrick Lewis is looking to bounce back after a decision loss to, who was it? Was it Almeida? No, that was Curtis Blades. Who did Derrick Lewis?
It was Jonathan Almeida. It was a 5-round decision.
It was, yeah. And then Jonathan Almeida, he fought Blades last too. So Lewis has
Derrick
been out.
Lewis. It was their fight was November of last year, so about 7 months since he last fought.
Damn, dude, it does not feel like it's been that long. Oh, well, I mean, happy to have him back anytime. I don't think we're ever dreading a Derrick Lewis fight, regardless of who he's going up against. And in this one, he is going up against another submission artist, Rodrigo Nascimento. We will get into that. But first, we are going to cover the rest of the main card. Had some a little bit of flip-flopping going on. But 2 weeks ago, we got the announcement that Diego Ferreira is going to be taking on Mateus Rebecki on this one. So we'll start it off in the 155 division. Diego Ferreira, however you prefer, whatever your cup of tea is. Opening as a plus 210 underdog, going up against Mateus Rebecki, minus 260 favorite. Diego Ferreira is 18-5. He has 4 KOs, 7 submissions, 7 decision wins. Coming off of a KO win over Michael Johnson. Very impressive win after a bit of a layoff. He's 1-3 in his last 4, and he's only had 1 fight since 2021, which was the KO win over Michael Johnson. An interesting thing, something that I've taken note on a lot of the fighters on this card, Diego Ferreira has 12 fights in his career that were finished in under 1.5 rounds. This guy is a grappler who likes to strike, basically. He's a grappler who strikes. His striking has gotten much better. He's well-rounded, but ultimately, I think the grappling is what he's best at and where he shines. I think his key to this fight, going up against a very tough Mateus Rebecki, I think he's going to need to weather a storm. He's going to need to avoid getting in difficult positions. He's going to need to be on point with his defense, because Mateus Rebecki is going to bring the fight to him. That's all there is to it. He's going to bring it to him. He's Mateus Rebecki is 19-1. He's got 9 KO wins, 7 submission wins, 3 decisions. He's on a 16 fight win streak, coming off of a submission win over Roosevelt Roberts. This guy hasn't lost in, I think his last loss was like August or September of 2014. So we're getting a couple months out from him being a decade away since his last loss. He has 11 total fights that have ended under 1.5 rounds. And the key to him taking this fight is going to be what he's been doing to every single fucking person that he has gone up against. Pressure him, use the heavy hands, land heavy shots, get him up against the cage, and just work him. Just put the pressure on. He's man, I don't know if you've seen this guy fight too much, but he's very, very dominant. He's very dominant, and he's looking for the finish at all times. He's got heavy hands, not the crispest striking, not a real 1-2 slip roll type of fighter, but he's coming for blood every single time out, and that's why I am going with Mateus Rebecki by TKO under 1.5. This one, I think, regardless of how it goes, it's going to go under 1.5. I think Diego Ferreira is capable of weathering the storm. I think he is capable of, if Rebecki possibly gasses out, which is very unlikely, I think that Diego Ferreira could have a shot at getting a finish in it. But I think that Rebecki is just he's gonna be too much for him. I think he's gonna get that TKO. I think it's gonna be under 1.5. So we're starting it off with a finish here, boys, and I got a feeling that we got quite a few of them, especially in this next one. I'm gonna go to Matt on this one. We got a heavyweight fight. Super exciting heavyweight fight on this one. Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Rebellis Despain. Matt, please do me justice. Back me up here. Let me know, how crazy is this fight about to be?
I definitely think it's going to be an action-packed fight. Rebellis Despain is an Olympic bronze medalist. He has clean striking on the stand-up. I'm actually interested to see if maybe Waldo will be able to will try to capitalize on the questionable takedown defense of Rebellis Despain. I feel like that would be his way to victory really here, because I think Rebellis Despain is ultimately the better striker and he has more power in his hands, and I ultimately see him knocking him out in the first round like he did with his last opponent, and all of his other opponents. I think he only one of his fights went to the second round, and I see it following the same fate.
Very difficult to go against Rebellis Despain, especially right now. The guy's got the hype, he's got the finishes, he's got crazy highlights already, and I gotta back you up on that one. I don't see Rebellis Despain having any trouble in this one. What about rounds? Are we going under 1.5? You think it's going to be first? Do you think it makes it out of the first?
Oh, for sure. I think it's going to be within the first round. I don't think this one's seeing the second round at all.
I highly doubt it. Very safe bet to go under 1.5 on this one. So we got Rebellis Despain on that one. He opened as a -170. So you're not taking too much of a discrepancy on the pay line on that one. But so far that's 2 favorites, and we got 2 finishes, 2 quick finishes under 1.5. The next one up, Bruce Leroy and Sean Woodson fight. It is a one. Are they still at 55? 45. Okay.
45. Featherweight, maybe.
Featherweight. Alex Caceres opened at a +150 to Sean Woodson at a -180. Wow, that's surprising. Sean Woodson was impressive in his last one though, so but it was close. Gage, let us know how it's going to go between Bruce Leroy and Sean Woodson.
I mean, it's It's essentially a pick 'em. It really is. Even though Caceres is coming off the lose to Giga Chikidze, which, okay, you can't really be upset about losing a decision right there. And he was ripping off wins before that. He had a 4-fight win streak before that. Sean Woodson's ripping off a 2-fight win streak currently. After his draw against Luis Saldana in 2022. So he's ripped off 2 wins last year. They have very similar fight styles. They can take you to the ground if they want to, but they have excellent takedown defense. So I don't think either one was really going to test it there. They will level change, try to create openings. I think Bruce Leroy will work behind the jab. I think he's a more powerful fighter. And it's going to be a stand and bang affair. I don't think, unless one of them is in trouble or smells blood, but they try to take it to the ground for a submission. So I think it's going to be a high volume striking affair. I think it goes under 1.5. I'm going to go Alex Caceres as my dog for the night.
Oof.
Early second round TKO of Sean Woodson.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I love Bruce Leroy, man. Sean Woodson is one of those guys that I've been looking at for quite some time. I figured it was gonna be a walk in the park for him coming back in that last one against Jourdain, and that was a close fight. Woodson is just so long, man. He's so long, and
he does have a 4.5 inch reach advantage. Has a 4-year age gap he's working with in his favor too.
Man. And at 145, 4 inches is a mile.
He's also 6 inches taller.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Alex Caceres is standing at 5'8". Sean Woodson standing at 6'2".
That is ridiculous, man. He's in there in featherweight looking like Victor Wembanyama against these featherweights.
Yeah, I just think Caceres, he has a lot of experience, and he's been fighting very well. He's been doing it for a long time, and I think this is probably his last big push and like trying to do something in the promotion before he kind of ages out.
That makes sense. I could see that because he has been. I think it was. I can't remember what number season it was, but it was the GSP and Josh Koscheck season of The Ultimate Fighter that he got on. And that was a long time ago.
He started fighting a decade ago. He's been fighting for a decade in the UFC.
Gosh, man, power to him for being able to stick in.
One of the most comical fight names, Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
I love it.
Classic. One of the originals too. Like, not a whole lot of people with like ironic nicknames coming into the Tough House. So yeah, I'm rooting for Bruce Leroy for sure on this one. It's going to be a tough outing against Woodson, but you got it. That's the dog of the night so far. So far, we've got all favorites, so he's the only dog that we got so far. Alex Caceres at, what was it, plus
154 officially on UFC.com.
54. Okay, so we're getting $1.50 back. I like it. And then if you throw that on with Rebellis and Rebecca, that'll be a good little three-way right there. I like that. And then now moving on to the light heavyweights, Alonzo Menefield and Carlos Ulberg. Alonzo Menefield, 15-3-1. He's got 10 KOs, 3 submissions, 2 decision wins. He's 4-0-1 in his last 5. 4 wins, 1 draw. Coming off of a decision win over Dustin Jacoby. Going up against Carlos Ulberg, who's 9-1, 6 KOs, 1 submission, 2 decisions on a 5-fight win streak. Coming off of a submission win over Dawoon Young. He has 5 first-round wins of his 9 wins. He is the opening 2-1 favorite on the betting line. Very well-rounded striker. He's I call him a pressure kickboxer. He's one of those guys that just mixes up his strikes real well. Like I said, he's from City Kickboxing. Of course, that's going to be his MO, you know. But he's really good at putting on the pressure. He's really good at feints. He's really good at creating openings for himself and then capitalizing on those openings. I think that he is going to be looking to control the center of the cage. He needs to keep Alonzo Menifield moving backwards, not let him get in that bull rush straight on mode. Excuse me. Work the counters, work the check hook, and stay off the bottom, because Alonzo Menifield is a huge 205er. Excuse me. Alonzo Menifield, power puncher. We all know he does have 3 submissions, but his MO is going to be to put your lights out as quickly and as brutally as possible. He has 13 wins under 1.5 rounds. Excuse me. The key to Alonzo Menifield being able to get it done against the highly touted Olberg is, I think, he's a power puncher. Like I said, he's going to need to land those powerful strikes. He's going to need to mix it up. He's going to need to work the body, the legs, the head evenly, not just head hunt, not just look for one big knockout punch against a very technically sound Olberg. That's just it's not going to happen. Mix in the takedowns and try to establish a dominant top game. Be able to suck some of the momentum away by putting Olberg on his back and not letting him be able to land those kickboxing strikes and cutting angles. Alonzo Menifield is, probably in the top 10, maybe the top 5 scariest dudes when he's running straight at you. And I think being able to just do that straight on bull rush style isn't going to fare very well against Olberg. So I think that he's going to need to work some angles. I think he's going to need to stay off the center line, not just be a forward and backward type of fighter, but work side to side, work laterally, give Olberg different looks, give Olberg stuff to think about so he doesn't just get set and start picking him apart in the kickboxing on the feet. My official pick, I am going to go with Olberg, but this one, just like Gage was saying, this one's a toss-up. At any point, any one of them could put the lights out. Alonzo Menifield has done it 10 times already, and it's not outside the realm of possibility that he could do it again. For as good as Olberg is, I think that him getting a KO or TKO under 1.5 is a good bet. But this one, I think the safest bet is under 2.5. I think someone's going to sleep. It could be either one. The smart pick will be Olberg, but Alonzo Menifield can change lives in one punch, and don't sleep on him. Don't sleep on him, Olberg. But I'm going Olberg. I'm going by KO, TKO under 1.5. And that's 4 finishes under 1.5 so far. This is going to be a dope card. And then that takes us on to the co-main events. Very exciting matchup between Joaquin Buckley and, I always get this tongue-tied, Nursultan Ruziboev. How about that for a name? How about parents waking up one day and like, I'm going to name my kid Nursultan. I don't think I've ever heard a Nursultan before. He might be the only Nursultan on planet Earth. I don't know. I'll have to look that up.
I'm sure if you go to Uzbekistan, you'll see.
That could be. It could be like Matt over there, huh? But the name seems to be working, man, because he's 34-8, quietly 34-8. I remember when he came out for that Cedricus Dumas fight last time, and we were like, "Who is this dude? How has he been fighting so long? And he's got this many wins and this many finishes, and we've never heard of him before." But Joaquin Buckley campaigned to get on this St. Louis card, made it happen. It's and I bet that he's looking to put on a show against a very dangerous finisher. He's 18-6-0. He himself has 13 KOs and 5 decision wins. He's 3-2 in his last 5. He's on a 3-fight win streak, coming off of a TKO win over Vicente Luque. And this one notably will be his 4th welterweight fight in a row. Started out at middleweight, 4th welterweight fight in a row. He's on a 3-fight win streak. This is number 4. It's a short notice one, but I think if anybody can put on some short notice work, it'll be Joaquin Buckley. Nursultan Ruziboev, 34-8-2, 12 KOs, 20 submission wins, 2 decision wins. He's on a 10-fight win streak, a 10-fight finish streak, coming off of a TKO win over Cedricus Dumas in the first round. Something that we all, the Fight Pit, bet. I know that Dumas was a very popular pick on that one since nobody knew who Ruziboev was. Us at the Fight Pit, though, we weren't fooled. We nailed Ruziboev, and I need to get a little horn here to toot every time I come back to our picks. Gage, I'm going to kick this one off with you, brother. This one's going to be exciting. I have a feeling we may go all finishes on this main card. What do you got?
I'm not going to break the streak right now. I wouldn't per se say it's going to be a knockout for Ruziboev. I would go more submission because I think he's got a better ground game than Joaquin Buckley, and he could utilize it. But they also both like to stand and bang and like to try to put lights out. So it could go either way. Your really only safe bet here is, again, under 1.5. And I love Joaquin Buckley and how he really tried to get on this card. But I think I'm going to go Ruziboev submission round 1.
Ruziboev submission round 1. That would make 21 submissions and an 11-fight win streak for him. And I got to tell you,
11-fight finish streak.
And an 11-fight. Dude, who is this dude? Where the hell did he come from, man?
He's still fighting unranked people, which is weird.
I mean, you gotta always keep in mind that a lot of the big win streaks, a lot of the guys with a lot of fight, it's expected that there were some cans in there. You know what I mean? And there's no shame in beating up a can. That's what you're supposed to do, especially when you're a very dominant fighter. You're gonna go against people that you're better than. And you gotta just, we say it all the time about like the champions who refuse to fight other contenders because they feel like they could just beat them too easily. Like, you might be able to beat everybody easily, but you still have to do it. Like, we can't just assume you're gonna beat everybody. You still have to do it. So yeah, but I mean, Joaquin Buckley, man, he's just had such a good run at welterweight so far, and I hope he's able to keep it going, but it's not looking good for him, man. I hope he's able to do well in St. Louis. Let's hope he doesn't get starched flat on his face in his hometown. Matt, we got one for Ruziboev by submission. What's the second one going to be?
I'm also going to have to go with Ruziboev. I think that he's going to be a bit too lengthy for Joaquin Buckley. He has struggled with the bigger guys before, I've seen in middleweight. And I think it's going to be the same case with this one. I think he's going to be able to take him down, do what he wants on the ground, as well as find some success on the feet. I think that the distance is going to be a bit too much to cover for Joaquin Buckley. And I do ultimately have Ruziboev by knockout in the second round.
Knockout in the second. We got it's making it to the second. Is it still going to go under 1.5 though?
No, I see it going early on in the second round. I went under 1.5. I see it going, him finishing him early on in that second round.
I'm just saying Ruziboev has 25 first-round finishes. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
It's hard to argue. If it does make it out of the first, like Matt was saying, man, I don't see how this. The only thing is that one thing that frustrates me about Joaquin Buckley is that I feel like he has the capability of finishing fights a lot sooner than he does. I feel like he kind of he likes to play the game. I feel like he plays the game of I'm gonna go up against what it is that you're trying to do, and I'm gonna just show you that you're not gonna be able to finish me with it before he actually jumps on it. There were a couple fights where I had Joaquin Buckley by finish under like 1.5, under 1 round or something like that, and he very easily could have done it, but he got the toying around. He got to showing out, and can't blame him for it. I can't blame him for it. You know, they're fighting at the highest level. I can't expect everybody to get a first round knockout, but this one, I have to agree with both of you. I'm going to go Ruziboev on this one. Under 1.5, absolutely. And this one, I'm going to have to say submission too, but only because I think that once Ruziboev puts the hands on him, I think Buckley might be trying to shoot. So I think that Ruziboev will be very close to getting a TKO, very close to a standing KO. And if Buckley doesn't go out, then it's for sure going to be a submission finish. But under 1.5, if you want to be ultra safe, under 2.5, you guys got that. Ruziboev going to make it 2 in a row for us on the Fight Pit with Nursultan Ruziboev. And to round it out, we have the heavyweight main events. What are we looking at time-wise? Oh, beautiful. So we got a heavyweight main event between Derrick Lewis and Rodrigo Nascimento. Derrick Lewis opened at a -166. Nascimento at a +140. Derrick Lewis sitting at a 27-12 record with 22 KOs. God, 1 submission win. How did that even happen? And 4 decision wins, but he's 1-4 in his last 5, coming off of that decision loss, that painstaking decision loss to Jailton Almeida. Rodrigo Nascimento, though, 11-1 record, 2 KOs, 6 submissions, 3 decision wins, 3 1-1 in his last 5. Last one was a decision win over Don'Tale Mayes, who just got a win on the last fight night. One of the ones that we got correct. Toot toot. This one, it's all finishes. It's all finishes. There's going to be all finishes on this one. Normally, whenever I bet on heavyweights to get a finish, they do what Derrick Lewis did in his last one. They go the whole 5 rounds and they completely blow all my tickets on the very last leg. So be ready for that. Sprinkle a little bit on over 1.5, over 2.5, just to hedge, just to be safe, so you're not kicking yourself at the end of the night. But I'm going to start it off. I'm going to say Derrick Lewis bounces back. I'm going to say he gets a knockout. It's going to be under 2.5, just to be safe. And I don't see. I feel like Nascimento is going to be looking for the ground. He's going to be looking for legs. He's going to be looking to do what Jailton Almeida did, establish a dominant position, try to pound him out, try to open up a submission. I just don't see Nascimento being able to do it to Derrick Lewis with his patented just stand up jiu-jitsu defense. But he's been on a little bit of a downward slide the last few, and it's unfortunate because we love him. He's a fan favorite. He's a Fight Pit favorite. Everybody loves Derrick Lewis. All the homies love Derrick Lewis, but it's a difficult one to pick. If we gotta bet the house on it, it'll be a difficult one. I'm gonna throw it to Gage again on this one. Gage, kick us off again. I got Derrick Lewis, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Make sense of it for me.
I don't want to do it. I'm tired of this.
I know, man. I know.
I'm tired, Grandpa.
Just wait till you get to the mid-30s, bro. It's no easier.
No, I'm saying Derrick Lewis, the last 4 fights are like, all right, this is it. This is it. This is it.
Yep.
Here we are again. I don't think this will be a Derrick Lewis retirement fight, unlike the last 2 times we said this. I'm gonna go over 2.5 here.
Ooh, safe. Playing it safe. I like it.
I don't want to say it, but I think it's gonna go to the cards. We're gonna have a boring heavyweight fight,
Oh shit!
and Nascimento is gonna win on the cards against Derrick Lewis.
How many rounds is it? 5-0 like last time?
Oh, no, I don't think it's gonna be 5-0. I think it's gonna be 3-2.
3-2. Okay.
Split.
I like it.
I think Derrick takes the first 2 rounds potentially, but then we know Derrick Lewis and cardio, and just it doesn't go.
Very true. Very true. He's the cardio king for the wrong reasons, all the wrong reasons. If we had to lay money on a dog, are you putting Nascimento up there, or is Caceres still your dog pick of the week?
Caceres.
You
Sorry.
muted. You good?
I muted myself. I went the other way. Caceres is still my dog pick of the week. Easy.
I think that's a little bit better money too. 150 and 140. Yeah. I haven't looked at what they currently are on William Hill, but I can't imagine that they've changed too much. The only thing I can think of is that maybe more money flowing in on Derrick Lewis by knockout, but that's got to be probably up at the top of the method of victory bets. Maddie, let us know. Are we staying split, or are you going to break the tie for us?
I'm going to have to go with Rodrigo Nascimento. I think if you even have like a little bit of a ground game, you can take Derrick Lewis down as a heavyweight. He's not too skilled in that department. And I don't see it going to a finish, but I do see Rodrigo just laying and praying, and kind of a little bit how Almeida did it, and just holding him down the whole fight, trying to avoid the striking department. Who knows though? The same thing could happen with Curtis Blades. Underhook on uppercut on entry, and he could knock him out. But ultimately, I feel like Rodrigo will have this one going to a decision, and I would have to say he wins the first round, Derrick Lewis. But I'm gonna have to go one round one, and then 4 rounds loss.
4-1 for
Also,
Nascimento.
he's getting too old to, what my name is for. He just can't stand up. Too old to make jiu-jitsu not be a real thing.
That it's been a while too, and I could have swore that was a legitimate technique for quite a while. He's one of those guys that just
it was a great jiu-jitsu defense. Just stand up. Jiu-jitsu wasn't real.
He made it work. Like he made every single time. Like there wasn't a time when he just didn't stand up, and against heavyweights. I mean, I can understand. I've been caught in submissions and stood up with 70 pounders and 55ers picking, just standing up while you got 265, 280 pounds on top of you. I couldn't imagine, man. That's insane. But he's trimmed up a bit in recent years. He was a burly boy there for quite a while. But he's been, I've seen him doing miles at the PI with Nick Diaz and getting the cardio in. So I'm hoping that his cardio is going to be able to last on this one too. And, I'm fully happy taking it on my records. All of our records have been phenomenal lately. Gage and Sean completely owned UFC 300. Matt has been over, I think, 70% on every single card since he's been a part of the Fight Pit, since he's joined with us. That's the low end too. Like the worst that Matt has done is 70%. And us as a team, we completely just destroyed the last fight night. If you were subscribed and you watched the last fight night episode, we're not going to take a cut or anything. It's all good, but just remember who got you to the promised land. Derrick Lewis and Nascimento, good fight. Do you guys, we'll go with Matt first on this one. Do you think that this is justified as the main event of this fight night, or do you think that there's a fight on this card that could have been the main event over it?
I definitely think there could have been a fight over this one. I'm going to have to agree with Gage here that it probably will be a boring heavyweight fight, like his last one, Derrick Lewis's last one. I think that maybe either the Joaquin Buckley or the Olberg fight could have been the main event. I think that definitely is action packed and is definitely a fan favorite as well.
Great pick. I like it. And with Joaquin Buckley, all the the hype surrounding him, his win streak, and campaigning so hard, showing up to the press conference to ask Dana for this fight and everything. Happy that he got on the co-main. I think it would have been cool for him to be main event too, but going up against Ruziboev, that's setting homeboy up for failure on that one. Gage, is Lewis and Nascimento the main event, or do we have a people's main event on this one?
I think it's Derrick Lewis driven main event. It's because, again, you hear Derrick Lewis, you think of that insane 2021, 2022 run of Derrick Lewis just putting people out and boxing up Curtis Blades, boxing up before he started getting put out by like Tai Tuivasa, fought Volkov, which was crazy.
Yeah.
Fought for the belt against Cyril, and that's where it all went downhill. So people will come for Derrick Lewis. They come for the comedy and the antics of Derrick Lewis. But the actual fight that really should have been, Derrick Lewis should have been the co-main, and Alonzo Menafield and Carlos Olberg, which is going to be an absolute banger. Should have been the main event.
100%. I gotta agree with you guys, man. That's a very difficult fight to pick, and it's a very exciting fight. Olberg and Menafield, there's some good fights on the prelims on this one too. It's gonna be tough to call. If there is any prelim ones that you guys want to throw out there, absolutely feel free. But otherwise, just going off of the main card, who do we like for fight of the night on this one? I think that the Bruce Leroy fight. Who was it? Bruce Leroy and Sean Woodson. I think that if it's not a finish, I think that has the potential to be a very solid fight.
I think that one's going to be a war. If it doesn't go in the first round, it's going to be an absolute war. Rounds 2 and 3.
100%. And it's going to be difficult to get there too. But if they do, I think that one is the leading runner for fight of the night. Just because all the other ones, man, I see them getting finished so quickly. I wouldn't be surprised if we have an all finish main card. I wouldn't be surprised if we have an all under 1.5 main card. I would not be surprised at all if none of these make it to the judges' scorecards, except for the heavyweights, of course, because heavyweights are supposed to finish early. So it stands to reason. They're going to go to a decision. Matt, who do you got for fight of the night on this one?
I'm personally most excited to see the Alonzo Menafield versus Carlos Olberg. That one I'm just definitely so excited to watch. The striking, how that all plays down.
That one, I don't in any realm see how that one makes it past 1.5. I don't see anybody getting a submission in that one either. I don't even know if submission should be offered in that one, because that's just if anybody's looking to bet submission, you can send to the house call Cash App. We got you. We'll take your money on that one. If there was, we had two of them, Nascimento and Caceres as the underdogs on here. Gage is going with Bruce Leroy as his lock for this week's card. Matt, who's going to be your lock of the week? Are you going with Bruce Leroy, or you got someone else?
I'm going to have to go with Rebellis of Spain. That's definitely a lock for me.
A lock. And then do you have a dog on this one?
The dog, I would have to agree with Alex Ceres. I definitely think that he's the dog of the fight. That one's definitely going to be interesting, and the technical abilities will definitely show through in that fight, I believe.
That's a good call. I like it. That's smart money too. Gage, we got your dog. Who's your lock for this card?
As interesting as this is gonna sound, my lock would have to be Nursel Ruzaboev. Nurselton Ruzaboev.
Yeah, that is interesting. That is interesting. I like it. He's 100% for us so far.
Everything else on this card is essentially a pick 'em, and I don't want Derrick Lewis to lose, so I'm not gonna make him be the lock of the night. So
I cannot say I blame you. Can't say I blame you. The last thing that I wanted to cover too, we're gonna go back through. We finished the last card. What's the one? So we got 301 going on. I don't know if that episode's up yet. I got to double check on that. But we got the King of Rio. Will have finished up by the time you guys see this one.
Rob just started editing it last night.
Okay, so that'll be up. That'll be up. We always get them up before the card. So you guys, if you're subscribed, make sure you guys hit the notifications too, so that you guys get notified every time our episodes drop, so you can get those bets in quickly, get those picks in, make you look like a genius to all your friends. I wanted to ask you guys, do you think that Jose Aldo is going to continue in MMA, or do you think that this is a one and done? Gage, I'll start with you. Is Jose Aldo back?
Yes and no. Will he continue as a mixed martial artist? No. Will he go to boxing? Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Is it too soon to say that he does a bare knuckle fight before it's all said and done?
I would love to see it. I would love to see that, but I wouldn't count on it. I've seen rumors of him just going just straight up boxing. I don't think there's a UFC career after this one. I don't think he wants to do it. I would be surprised if he stays in mixed martial arts if it's not with the UFC. I think he's fought for a long time at the top of the game. Like, he doesn't have anything to prove to anyone. He can just do what he wants to do.
Very true. He's done it all at this point. And he looked good. Looked really good against Jeremy Stevens in his boxing match. And even though I'm pretty sure it went to a draw, that one. So
again, is still many people's 145-pound GOAT. So
guilty as charged. Matt, how about you, brother?
I think that it'll probably be the end of him in the UFC after this fight. I forgot where I read it, but I read somewhere that he was fighting to basically fight out his contract so he can do other events outside of
interesting
big boxing name events and stuff like that. I think that he'll probably continue with boxing, but I don't think he will with MMA. I think he's a bit too old, and he has, like you guys said, nothing left to prove in MMA. He already was a champion, and he's done it all pretty much.
And we saw him giving props to Connor and wishing Connor good luck in this one. I gotta say that I think that there's quite a few people who are trying to get a Connor fight as soon as possible after that Chandler fight works out. Win or lose, I think, that Connor fight is gonna mold a lot of people's futures. I think, we got Max Holloway, got Dustin Poirier, Nate Diaz is always floating around. They're always entertaining that fight. And so it doesn't surprise me that Aldo is giving him his props and stuff too, because I really wish Aldo would have been able to get that rematch back, and that's just unfortunate that we never got to run that one back before he dipped out of 145. And the other thing I wanted to, what do we got? 47. So the last order of business, unfortunately, very unfortunately, we received news yesterday that our man, Fluffy, Anthony Hernandez, had to pull out of his fight against Roman Dolidze. very, very tough blow. Tough blow. We love Anthony. Anthony's the homie from California. I back Anthony against whatever. I'm betting on Anthony against King Kong, against a tornado, against Godzilla, whoever. He's just one of those dudes that I back. If Anthony is able to come back later this year, I haven't seen the extent of his injury, but let's just say he's able to come back this year. Do we sit the Roman Dolidze fight off to the side? Does Roman Dolidze take a replacement and stay on the card? I believe it was for 303 that he was going to be on. Do you guys want to see that fight still? Do you want to see them hold that one? Or do you think that Roman Dolidze moves on and we give Anthony Hernandez a different fight? Matt, we'll start with you on this one.
I definitely think that they should run this fight. I think it'll be a very entertaining fight for the fans, especially. And since they are, I'm going to have to go ahead and check the rankings here. Let me see here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it makes sense for them to fight. And definitely will be action-packed for sure.
And that was, I'm pretty sure, I know a few of us had ones that were similar, but I think Gage was the one that nailed that fight in our predictions, our preview predictions for the middleweight division after the last Fluffy versus Roman fight.
You're damn right I did.
And that he nailed it like on as much of a bullseye as you can get in a fight prediction. He nailed it right on the head. We got Anthony Hernandez currently sitting at number 12. Wasn't he? I believe he was like number 15 or so on the last one, and we knew he was going to move up a few spots over Roman Kopylov, and Roman Dolidze sitting at number 9 right now. So if Anthony Hernandez gets that fight and the rankings stay the same, we could see Anthony Hernandez cracking the top 10 by the end of the year. But Gage, does Dolidze hold off? Does he hold out for the Anthony Hernandez fight? Does he campaign for a different fight? Does he stay on the card? What do you want to see as far as that fight goes?
Well, as Roman Dolidze, it depends what he wants to do, really. That's what it really comes down to. I would love to see him wait, depending on the severity of Anthony's injury, and run that fight, because I think this would be a very, very good fight, especially in the bottom half of the division, which is so stacked and cluttered at the top.
Dude, you ain't kidding. Middleweight just out of nowhere just got stacked as hell.
Yeah. It's so rough to, like, who does Roman fight if not Anthony Hernandez? Everyone else in the ranked in the division's booked, or just fought. Let's just check above. He just lost to Najardine. In February. So they're not going to run that back. Paulo Costa fighting Sean Strickland next month.
Strickland, damn, that's 7 versus number 1.
Yeah. Brandon Allen just fought.
Mm-hmm.
Marvin Vettori not gonna fight number 9.
That's true. Does he have a fight? What the
Marvin Vettori is the only person not booked.
When was his last fight? I feel like it's been a while.
June of last year, fighting Cannonier.
Oh wow.
Jared Cannonier also not booked. Hasn't fought since that fight against Vettori.
I heard that it was rumored that Jared Cannonier and Nasruddin Mamavov were supposed to fight.
That would be a good fight. Actually, I'd rather see Mamavov against Vettori, but that's just me. Robert Whitaker, booked.
Mm-hmm.
Booked. Gonna be a great fight against Hamzat.
Oh yeah, a free fight, by the way, folks.
Yeah, and then you have Izzy,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have Sean fighting Paulo. So the whole division's pretty booked or just fought. But I would reach out to Jack Hermanson and be like, we know you just fought. Would you want to move up in the rankings a little bit? Would you want to take this fight?
The leads
You just beat up on Joe Pfeiffer. What do you want to do? And I would see what he wants to do. Because that's it. No one really around him or ranked. And I don't think the leads A would want to stay on the card badly enough to just fight an unranked opponent. I don't think he'd stick around for that.
It's understandable. He's 12-3. They were scheduled for UFC 302 on June 1st. So that would be, we just hit May, so it's a month out.
That would be the Dustin Islam card.
Oh man. That's a tough card to fall off of. That's a tough card to fall off of, man. That would be a really good. Where is that one going to be? Is that one going to be overseas?
Jersey.
Oh, Jersey.
Yeah.
Ooh, man. That's a tough break. That's because that's going to be a big card with a lot of eyeballs on it too. So that would have been a lot of good exposure for both of them too.
I mean, you could call Brandon Allen up, see what he wants to do.
Yeah, that's true.
But he thinks he's in line for a title shot. So
Allen or Delidze?
Allen.
Allen thinks he's in line for a title shot at number 6.
Didn't you hear him in that interview?
I probably
number
did.
15, Chris Curtis, and believes he deserves a title shot off of that. Short notice too. That's crazy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he was saying like, why am I not getting any recognition? Why am I not moving up the rankings and all this?
Oh my goodness. That's a tough sell, Brendan Allen. That's a very tough sell. Love you to death. Love you to death, but that's a very tough sell. 7-fight win streak though. Okay, I get it. Chris Curtis, Paul Craig, and Bruno Silva, his last 3. That's a tough sell for a title fight. That's a very tough sell for a title fight. I personally, I've been excited about this fight ever since Gage said it. I think that the only other option that we put out there was Hernandez versus Paul Craig. And Paul Craig, I want to say, is booked for somebody soon. I feel like Paul Craig
fighting Saturday.
Yeah, Sal Baraglio.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Number 13 fighting number 14 on 301 this weekend.
Well, if he does get that win, I could see Craig and Anthony Hernandez.
I think that's too quick a turnaround, depending on what happens.
Yeah, that's true. They're gonna have to.
Unless Paul Craig works out and starches him within a minute, then yeah, you can switch off and be good in 2 months.
That is still a very, very difficult turnaround too. And then how are we doing on time here? We got a couple more. We'll throw out, speaking of rumored bouts, we've been seeing Drew Dober has a fight agreement, agreed to a fight offer, and there have been videos of Alex Pereira signing a bout agreement. Who do you guys think should be next for Pereira? And do you care who Drew Dober fights? Matt.
As far as Alex Pereira, I know Magomed Ankalaev wanted to wait until the Saudi Arabia card to fight on there. Alex Pereira did turn that down because he said it was a bit too much of a turnaround. He wanted to fight soon as possible. I think maybe I know Tom Aspinall doesn't have an opponent just yet, and I think maybe they can be going that direction when that
Gage like
UFC 304.
That's a good one. That's a good one. So I think a lot of what the rumors were was people were trying to figure out if Pereira was going to be on one of the recent cards coming up here too. Pereira turning around quick and going against Aspinall. Oh man, Gage, if Pereira fights Aspinall, who takes it? Do we have a triple champ?
Oh God. Oh man. It would be such a good fight to watch. It'd be such a good fight to watch. Damn, Matt. Oh, I wasn't even thinking of that. I was thinking he was going to turn around quick and fight Yuri again.
Yuri against Pereira rematch. I could see that. I
think it's either Yuri or it's got to be either John Jones or Tom Aspinall.
Oh my God, Alex Pereira versus John Jones. If
Alex, being a crazy motherfucker, wants to go down again and beat the dog shit out of Dracus.
Oh, Duplessis! Wow, and I think that they were talking about Dracus and Adesanya being finalized, but I haven't seen that's official.
I think if they do, it would have to be on the Perth card for 305. I think that is the Perth card.
Yeah,
because Elia told Volk no for 305 in Perth.
Well,
which I'm okay with, because Volk, please take more time off than 305, please.
Yeah, I don't understand why anybody would even offer Volk a fight right now.
No, Volk wanted Perth, and Elia said no. But
okay.
Anyway, I think if Izzy does come back, it would be the Perth card of 305. But I can see Alex Pereira going up, going down, or fighting Yuri. But I would love to watch him fight Tom Aspinall or John Jones. Which, by the way, I think Alex Pereira wins both those fights.
Really? Alex Pereira against John Jones and Aspinall, he wins both of them.
I think Tom Aspinall would give him more of a challenge, which is nuts to say, which is bonkers to say when the other option is John Jones.
Seriously.
But I think age just kind of caught up to John Jones. Age and injury, especially fighting Alex Pereira, who's an absolute psychopath.
Very true. Very true. And I would like to see that more than I would like to see John versus Stipe. I still to this day, I don't think that beating Stipe helps his legacy in any way, shape, or form. I don't think that it furthers his legacy at all. I think beating Stipe has already happened. I think DC already did everything that John Jones is trying to do at heavyweight, and I think he's got to, DC never faced anybody like Aspinall. Aspinall would be a monster.
Yeah, if John Jones comes back and he still fights Stipe, John, give up the belt and just fight Stipe then, and let Tom have it, or unify the belt and fight Tom.
Yep. That if he beat Aspinall and then went to fight Stipe, I would give it to him. I'd say that works. But John Jones versus Stipe is not. I don't see anybody calling for that fight. I don't see anywhere where people are like, man, when is this fight gonna happen?
But everyone just wants to see John Jones fight.
Yeah.
But everyone still needs to see, does John Jones still have it? And then 2 minutes in, you're like, oh yeah, it's still John Jones.
Right. Yeah, that was very anticlimactic. We did not get our money's worth on that one. It was great to see him at heavyweight, but I feel like we still haven't even seen him at heavyweight. We saw him for like 30 seconds, and it was just that it didn't tell us anything about how he fares at heavyweight. That just tells us that he's still John Jones. But, well, it's going to be interesting, boys. It's going to be very interesting. Do we have any final words, any final thoughts?
No, that's pretty much it. Grateful to be here with you guys. It was a great episode once again.
As always, we're happy to have you, man. Gage, any last words, my brother?
Follow the Fight Pit. We got some interviews coming out. Please be active in our comments. We love talking shit. And when everyone says, "Oh, how did you guys not see this coming?" When we have a 75% average on bets and fight picks. So please come try us. We love answering.
Yes.
And shout out everyone else on the Fight Pit. Shout out the Gridiron, Push League Bros, Brickhouse, the Crease, and all the other segments we have on the House Call. Thanks for catching us for another week of great UFC picks and bets.
Baby, that's how we finish this. This has been the Fight Pit Fight Night. Lewis versus Nascimento going down on May 11th. You guys make sure to tune in, follow, and subscribe. The House Call Sports, the Fight Pit, High Fight IQ. Go to the official Fight Pit on Instagram, and you can find all of us there. Myself, Gage, Matt, Kyle, Sean, the rest of our brothers and sister channels. You know what it is, the Fight Pit. We are always here. We are always bringing you the picks, and we, more often than not, are always, I'd say 70% of the time we are right every single time. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It has been real. We will see you on the next one. I am Drew, the highest in the room. That's Gage. That's Matt. We will see you on the next one. Peace.